Well, you know what? We've had enough testing today because there's one thing that I know for certain. DNA does not lie. Right. And so I understand Mr. Poole, Mrs. Poole, you all have agreed that this court was going to conduct a DNA test so that we can put this baby Caden situation to rest once and for all. Yes, and then we'll decide whether or not you all have anything left in this marriage. Robert, will you please retrieve the DNA analysis? Here you go. Thank you. Okay, now before I open this, Mrs. Poole, is there anything you want me to know?
If it's mine, I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to do. But if it ain't, she's gonna have to go on with one of y'all. She ain't going with me.
The court ordered a DNA test result, and the results are, when it comes to 2-month-old Caden Poole, it has been determined by this court, Mr. David Poole, you are the father.
I've been telling him since the beginning that his friends...
Mr. Piper, look at that baby.
I see him.
I know you do.
And you know what? I actually believe that he is my child. I want to believe that he is my child, you know? But seeing as
why would you believe some other people that are coming to you? Did you sleep with one of his friends?
I have not slept with any of his friends.
Did you sleep with some random guy that you picked up on a dating app?
I did not sleep with that man. He gave me different vibes. And I was with a friend, and I told him that. I've showed him proof, and he doesn't understand that all his friends want to be with me. And when that happens, they will make anything up. They are messaging me, asking if they can watch me. They're messaging me if they can take me out to lunch. They don't actually care about him. And I tell him every single time it happens, I'm like, hey, look, another one. These are not your friends.
I'm just wondering where the happiness is. But let me see if I can make some happiness so that we can at least establish that this is a family that we need to protect. Robert, can you please get me the results?
Sure.
Thank you. You both agreed that at the core of this relationship is the question on whether or not Joshua Jr. is actually Joshua Sr.'s child. Is that correct, Mr. Piper?
That's true. My family
and
doesn't
Ms.
believe
Clarke,
it.
you've said you did not have any intimate contact with somebody else other than Mr. Piper. Am I correct?
Correct. You might feel guilty about during that time that he was disappearing every other weekend, and also his family is in his ear, and they don't like me. They even told me to name the baby's middle name Major, and it would stand for major mistake.
That's not nice.
It is not nice. I did not like that either. But even my family wants to know this.
And you're saying that you didn't sleep with his friend?
I did not sleep with his friend.
When it comes to 1-month-old Joshua Piper Jr., it has been determined by this court, Mr. Joshua Piper, that you are not the father.
Oh, man. Oh, my.
Probability of paternity, 0%.
And you say twins. You say clone, didn't you?
We have done a DNA test at your request. Robert, may I have the evidence?
Sure.
Because, see, I like to put everything on the table. Because your sister-in-law, Mr. Stoker, she came here, put her reputation on the line for you. Your sister-in-law came here and said that she supported you. So what we're going to do is find out so that there are no issues, at least in this regard. It says the child, Amira Mose, probability of paternity for Mr. Anthony Stoker, 0%. You are not the father.
Wow.
Your Honor, that still doesn't mean that they haven't had any type of intimate relationship. Because I don't see any reason for her to lie.
He has not got to meet Cadence yet, but she knows that he's dad. She calls him dad. She sees him over the videos. She knows that when she sees his face that that's dad, because he said whether she's mine or not, I still want to be in her life, because she doesn't have a good father figure in her life right now.
Because that girl needs a father figure, someone that will take care of her.
I want my family back. I do.
But Ms. Brockert, Cadence's birth certificate has another man's name on it.
It does, because when he decided that he didn't want anything to do with us, I wanted her to have stability. I wanted her to have someone that she could look up to that would guide her as a father.
Why would you put another man's name on the birth certificate knowing in your heart that that baby was mine?
Because you didn't care. You weren't around Matthew.
Here's my question, Ms. Brockert. Why didn't you put Mr. Gibson's name on the birth certificate?
Because legally, I didn't know what type of father he was going to be. The father that was in her life at that time, he was a good father figure. If I put Mr. Gibson's name on it and then he ended up being the type of person that would fight for full custody just because, or I didn't know what type of person he was going to be.
Ms. Brockert, I'm going to tell you
I was
what it
trying
sounds
to protect
like.
my daughter.
It sounds like you were baby daddy shopping, straight up, figuring out which one is going to provide the best situation for me and my kid. Now, mind you, I'm not going to pass judgment on that, but I am going to call it out. Because you were pregnant and alone, and the man that you were in love with was ghosting you, and then this new man was at least there pretending to be a good guy, and you picked the best of the situation. That's called baby daddy shopping.
I couldn't find him, though. I couldn't find Matthew.
And you're going to have to stand in the truth of that, because you put another man's name on the birth certificate, which has to, in my opinion, be part of your doubts. Am I right, Mr. Gibson?
Yes.
Tell me, how did y'all get back together?
We had met up a couple different times, us face to face, after I had left the relationship that I was in. And I didn't want to bring her around right away unless he was going to actually be there full force, because I didn't want to keep bringing, I'm not going to bring people in and out of my daughter's life. If you want to be a part of my daughter's life, be a part of her life. She's already been through so much and she don't deserve that. If he wanted to be in her life, and he had so much doubt, I said, okay, let's do this. Let's determine it. Let's get a DNA test and you will see that that is your child. But please, when you find out that she is yours, don't leave this time.
When we were at my cousin's place, we ended up getting in an argument. You know, thing kind of got heated. It's just everything all just turned around.
You know what? Since that
way.
baby was born, Mr. Gibson hasn't trusted you. Mr. Gibson has some trust issues that need to be resolved, Mr. Gibson.
Yes, I want them to be resolved.